right? This person earned $100,000 in a year. We found a lender that gave us 10% down on a $300,000 condo, 30 grand. With me so far? If she earned $100,000, what would she have paid to the government anyway? 30 grand. So instead, we took that 30 grand, we bought an investment property, we put 30% down, or 10% down, which is 30,000. The $300,000 property, the government says you can take 30% of that value and deduct that from your taxes. So that's 90K. So this person is now paying taxes on 10K. She paid 3K a year, 3K for the taxes, but her property netted her 6K a year. So she made $3,000, has an investment property, and you paid $30,000 to the government.
Next up, we have another member of a guy that was looking at, he's actually a little bit younger than me, I think. And, but he's doing amazing things. Mike Hern, and he's local to this market. You might see his name around here. Year-to-date volume of with his team, it's 115 million, and another billionaire volume right here in the room. Here we go. 1 billion, 14 years, okay? And some fun facts about Mike. He owns and operates a cattle farm in Sussex County and just had a newborn. Congratulations, buddy. Michael Hern.
Thank you, Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hat. The hat's here because I was supposed to have a haircut yesterday, but with a newborn and a Puerto Rican wife, you just do what you're told. Haircut wasn't in the cards yesterday.
All
But
right.
thank you for being here. I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you for asking me to share.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, so if you could tell everyone how you got started in the business.
By chance. I went to school to be a teacher, and that didn't happen. Governor Christie took over. Phys ed and health wasn't happening at that time. As a fireman, I took the fireman test, came out number 1. They didn't hire for the first time in 16 years. I started bartending, long story short, the owner of the bartender. Which I will tell you this. Let me be honest. Because I think there's, I usually don't tell this. Lisa's laughing because she knows what I'm about to say. But I think there's something that you probably won't hear often. So, truth be told, I was at the gym, and a guy was hitting on me, and he was gay. And he owned a gay bar. And at that time, I was like, really? So I asked my sister was like, Mike, you gotta do it. You're gonna make a ton of money. I was in shape. It pisses me off. Because I guarantee you, if that guy hit on you at the gym, you probably look the other way. You may walk the other way. Do you even listen to him? And then how many of you actually take that chance to go work in a gay bar as a straight man? So is that luck? And people, we talked about this in our team meeting the other day, was creating our luck, right? Like these calls, like guess what? You're not gonna get lucky and get a listing appointment unless you make a call. Like you have to create your own luck. And I did that in the early stages, which is why I got into real estate. And I don't think this is lucky because I think I took a chance and did things that many others wouldn't do in the beginning, especially at my age. That's how I got in. Don't tell anybody.
Awesome. I might change, but I'll just say, so what do you feel like has worked well in your business?
Came into the business, athletic mindset, always being on a team. I knew as soon as I got into real estate, I wanted to be on a team, build a team. And what's worked well is hiring and finding like-minded people who are, number 1, good people, not assholes. 2, do the right things. 3, want to be productive. And not just for income, right? The first thing we ask is like, what do you want to accomplish in life? Because that's what our goal is. That's why we're going to partner, is to attack that goal, not the income. The income is what's going to drive it. We're going to get there through real estate and what we do and the money you make to attack your goals, right? So that's a big thing. And what I think we do well is this isn't limited to real estate and selling 18 homes. Do you need an investment property? Do you need to purchase a home? What is it? Right? That's the goal. Real estate's just going to drive that.
Nice. And can actually go back to, like, you talk about you always wanted to have a team. Okay, so was that at the inception of when you actually started your career? Or, like, when did you start thinking about that in your 14 years of doing this?
1,000% from the beginning. It was an ego, right? I wanted an assistant, really. And that was for ego. But I just wanted to be around people. I felt that early in my career I was having success, and it sucked being alone. And I mean, not success, like Tina said, like making 60 grand, 70 grand was a lot of money for me. That was a lot. I was going to teaching, so I was making 60, 70 grand in a half of a year when most teachers made that in a full year, right? So to me, I was successful. My partner in the back, Jeff, he was a school teacher, right? He came on now. His income is vastly, vastly different than what that was.
Got it. So basically, it seems like that this was, so with you and now, has your team grown organically? Like, how did this actually
Initially,
come
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
It did grow organically. We weren't in the business. I wasn't in the business to recruit. I wish I would have been sooner because I understand the power of partnership and what that could do. As you've seen what Tina could grow with your audience and everything else, there is power in that. But at that point, it wasn't a priority of mine. I also don't think I was capable because I wasn't a leader. I think one of the questions is, what's your superpower? I was going to say leadership, but I'm not going to do that because Tina covered all that. I may talk a little bit about something else.
Yeah, what is your superpower?
All right, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was leadership because it isn't. It was going to be leadership because I truly think that's not a characteristic. That's not a trait. Like, that's learned. And that's not learned in a year. That's not learned in one book. That's still something I learned. And to me, I think that leadership is a huge superhero power. To be able to lead somebody and get somebody to do what you know is best for them and they do it, like, that's leadership. When you could lead somebody and get somebody else to lead, like, that's leadership. Not telling somebody what to do and rah-rah because you're in front of the room, but when you're a leader and somebody else starts leading, like, now you accomplished leadership. That's a superpower, I think. But I don't pay taxes.
Let's go.
Right? Is that a superpower? I think so. All right, let me just tell you a little bit about it. I can only talk to you about personally what I've done. I'm not an accountant, I'm not gonna get into it. But I've committed a lot of time once I started making money and understanding and being around wealthy people. Big difference between people who make money and are wealthy. Because I've made a lot less money than most people and I'm a lot wealthier than most. It's a big difference. My day-to-day, which the next question is that structured, I'm no longer in the rat race. Right? What I do today is just what I want to do, how I want to do it, with the passion that I have for it. That's it. Right? And this actually, superpower, is what allowed me to do it. So I've netted over $1 million for about 7 years, and I had to learn how to keep my money because I was sick of giving $360,000, $400,000 away. That just didn't make sense to me. First thing, cost segregation. Anybody know about it? Some? Right? Good. So just quick example, and I'll do it at a smaller scale, what we did for somebody. Right? This person earned $100,000 in a year. We found a lender that gave us 10% down on a $300,000 condo. 30 grand. With me so far? If she earned $100,000, what would she have paid to the government anyway? 30 grand. So instead, we took that 30 grand, we bought an investment property, we put 30% down, or 10% down, which is 30,000. The $300,000 property, the government says you can take 30% of that value and deduct that from your taxes. So that's 90K. So this person is now paying taxes on 10K. She paid 3K a year, 3K for the taxes, but her property netted her 6K a year. So she made $3,000, has an investment property, and you paid $30,000 to the government. Good. Investment. Can't be for your primary. Different. We'll get it. There's a million. I'll send a whole thing out. It's, believe me, I went down that rabbit hole. Another quick one, health savings account, right? If you don't have a health savings account, you could put about $8,000 in there. That has to be applied if you could do it. I paid my nephews because I didn't have children yet, but believe me, my child is going to start getting paid what he's won. He's able to get $13,000 a year. When you invest that $13,000 a year, by the time he's 35, he's going to have $16 million if invested properly with that average rate. We'll go there next. So I get excited with this stuff. The health savings account,
love it.
Paying your kids. One of the coolest ones I did last year was in Minnesota, Land Conservatory. We bought a piece of property for $50K. Just full of timber. There's nothing in it, no trails, no nothing. In here, we were able to develop 2 properties. They gave us a value of $250K per property. So that's $500,000 total for that property. Again, we were able to take 30% of that value, which is $150, and deduct that from the taxes. So I paid $50 for a piece of property that I don't know, never seen it, but I deducted my taxes by $150K. You see how I made money? Like, this is where that wealth, like, gets wealthier. because they're making the money, they're keeping the money, they're leveraging the money, and now they can do what they want. I think that's a superpower.
Hello. Okay. So would you say that this is what helped you grow and actually invest in your real estate sales team? Or one of the things?
Did this help me grow and invest? No. What helped me that is honestly my father just telling me that you can't invest in anything else but yourself. And I just invested every dollar, cent, time, energy, effort into myself and to the people I believe. When my partner said they needed something for the company, like they got it because I had that decentralized leadership command that they know what to do with it, right? And that's been able to help us grow and grow and grow. But this isn't what helped me invest in it. I was always invested in me. If you're not going to believe in yourself, I don't know who will.
Yeah.
Right? But we usually don't believe in ourselves either. And that's a mindset thing. That's a coaching thing. Right? Like that's a youth thing, a personal development growth. But where are usually our biggest challenges, which I think one of the questions was like, what was your biggest challenge when you started?
That's my next one.
It was me.
Yeah.
It's you too, probably your biggest challenge for all of us. I mean, Tina's a superstar, but she's still probably her biggest challenge. Speaking of Tina, we've never formally met, but I know her name. The room gets very small when you get to the top. It's the same people doing the same things in different ways, trying to educate people to just do those things. So what you heard from Tina, I mean, you could go to a conference for 3 days and try to get that, but you just got an hour. My other superpower would have been being able to take something like that and go do something about it. So I would love to know on those notes, because you should have a full page of notes, like if there's not one thing you could have taken from her to go do, like today, tomorrow, this week, next week, like why are you here? That was the best. It was phenomenal. That was great stuff.
Awesome. I mean, I think it speaks that I think you guys are noticing a pattern with everyone we have coming up here. Yes, there's a lot of different ways and different vehicles that everyone has used to create their own way. But if there's one word I would say is consistency.
Most people. Yeah.
And I would actually argue, because you guys, if you don't know Michael Hern, so he also, like Michael Klein, it's like in this market, you've been consistent in the area that you worked. You haven't deviated from that, at least in the beginning years. Mm-hmm. And you just hit them hard all the time. It's all about consistency. So that's what I'm hearing, right?
Every time, right? Like they said, new business doesn't take precedent over. New business does take precedent over current business, right? So we're doing the same things over and over and over. Consistency is the thing. Patrick's one of our new agents, and I told him first off, I said the first thing you do is we'll give you all the work, but the reality is most of you or anybody is never consistent in doing the work. That's why they never see the result when they get out of the business sooner than later.
Amen.
Because there's no consistency in anything, right?
100%. And so let's go with the time machine example. Go back to your first version of yourself.
Yeah.
From what you know now, 14 years later, you can speak to Michael Hern day one. What are you telling that kid?
Probably stuff that I learned a lot later on. And the answer I always used to give was CRM, because I know how powerful it is. It's leverage, it's tech, there's so much to it. But I think there was something bigger to understand when you're younger. If you were trying to achieve what I was trying to achieve, which was reading the $1 Million Real Estate Agent, netting $1 million, starting a team, leads, listing, leverage, etc. The first thing I should have understood is follow value and not splits. I was always told that broke people care about splits and rich people care about net income. The amount of times I've met with a new agent and they were talking to me about split, I said, first, before we talk about split, how much money did you make last year? I don't know. What was your expenses? I don't know. So how are we talking splits? My question was splits, right? My question was, what could you do for me? How can you get me from A to B? How would you do that? What are your resources? What resources do you feel I need? The questions, the same things that you should be learning now in the power of questions. I wish I would have asked better questions when I started to help me find the place or person, because I believe in partnership, to get me where I wanted to be. I think it took me 8 years to net $1 million. I might have could have done it in 4. What could my life done differently with another 4 years at $1 million? Some people say, who cares, right? Like, you did it in 8, that's okay. But maybe my family could be better, my friends could be better, my team could be better. Like, a lot can happen in 4 years that people don't think about, that the speed of what you do, it matters. Getting rich is not a marathon. That's not. That's a sprint. You just damn well better be prepared for that sprint when it comes. right now is building. Like, we're going to be sprinting to get rich soon. That's the time. But if you're not building and having all these things ready to sprint, somebody's going to be faster than you. And it's probably those people at the top of the rooms who are building and building and building and consistently going to keep doing it.
Boom. So with that said, we're going to open up for questions. Questions for Michael Hern?
So when you started this new investment portfolio, did you already have an accountant in place, or were you?
No. So accountants suck. There's not. Sorry if saying the accountant here. I have never met one good accountant. I mean, I'm going through a war right now with my old accountant. I got a $152K tax notice. I'm like, what is this? Like, where does it come from? You didn't admit. Blah. Every 2 years I take my taxes of the last 3 years, I go to a new accountant, I throw it on their desk, I say, tell me what you could do differently, how you could have saved me money. Then I take what he says and I go back to my accountant and I said, why didn't you do this? Maybe there's a good reason. And sometimes they've had a good reason. I said, I like that. Okay. That was along with my goals and that's what I told you. I understand. All right, cool. Or I'll probably just go back to this guy. But yeah, I'm a whore when it comes to accountants. Like, whoever saves me more, I'm with you. But if you're not doing that with your accountant, your insurance person, and auditing all that, like you're going to be in trouble one day, or could be, right? And not be prepared.
Yep, that's the best advice he just literally gave us, because my accountant was losing us $400 grand a year, and I never asked, because they're an accountant. They should know it, but they're not a tax strategist.
Correct. There's a difference between accountants. Accountants don't. That's not their job to save you money. Their job is to file your stuff, right? There's tax attorneys who cost a hell of a lot more money than accountants that give you strategy to do it. But nobody said you can't pick up a book and learn this on your own, right? But we do, because we're go-getters and we're doing our stuff and making massive amounts of money. We're giving it to the accountant to do their job when really we could have worked half as hard to have the same amount of money we went home with. Like, that's called working stupid. That's not working smart. Like, that's just running into walls for no reasons when there's a door right there.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Give it up.
Yep, thank you guys.